What's the other event thing I wanted to do? It's at 5:30. Okay, I got plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm going down to dealers straight after this.
I was just there.
I was too. I'm trying to catch Trigger Studio for autographs. Because they made V&A.
Autographs. I'm saving all my money. Because I'm like,
I'm
I
only...
want to go see Low Tour.
I didn't even know Trigger was here. They animated V&A. And that's one of my favorite animes.
We're going to see All Might, Zoro, or whatever. Yeah, Vegeta. Sunday.
Yeah, I don't really know many guests this year, so...
Yeah, there's not a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that I haven't already seen, like Uncle Ivor. I've already seen Uncle Ivor.
Oh, he comes every year,
Yeah, he
though.
does. He's come for 3 years now. That's what he said.
Yep.
He's like, I think this is the first time I've ever been
I
by
guess we
myself.
can get started.
At the Avatar cast.
I'm not very good at technical stuff, so I did not figure out that this was supposed to be connected to that. This is a new laptop, so my biggest fear was like putting this in and like breaking it. So this is why I suck at tech, and this is why I can teach people about makeup and not tech. Okay, but yeah, it's 4 o'clock, so let's get started. But hi guys, my name is V, or well, Veronica, but V is usually my nickname. And welcome to Cosplay 101, how to look like your favorite characters. A little bit about me is that I am a self-taught makeup artist, quote unquote. This is my hobby, this is my main thing. I've been doing it for about almost 10 years. I've been going to conventions since like 2015, 2016, around that time. But I've been doing makeup since like 2012 or whatever. Like I just thought in high school, I thought anyone that wore eyeliner was really cool, so I kind of wanted to do that as well. And in high school as well, I was in every single art class, and I had no idea that you could be, creative with makeup and stuff like that. And then that's when I transitioned from like creative makeup to like cosplay. And in addition to like regular makeup, I also do body paint. Sometimes I do special effects. It just kind of depends on like the vibe that I want to kind of do. And back in 2017, I did compete for the Orlando Fashion District for an event, and I won Best Makeup Artist back in 2017. Haven't done that in a while, but I definitely wouldn't pass it up. It was fun. All right. Does anyone? Oh, whoops, that was not supposed to be there. Sorry. All right. Does anyone know specifically how anyone would like start cosplaying? Does anyone have a good idea about it? No? Okay, well, you just pick your favorite character and you cosplay. Okay, bye.
See ya! Woo!
Door right here, but I'm not gonna open it. Because last time I opened the door, there was like another like panel, and everyone was like, "Who's that?" And I went back in there. But you would think it's that easy, but like honestly, if it was, I feel like my life would be so much easier than it is. Okay. But in a sense, it kind of is in a certain aspect. So my favorite thing are like anime, comic books, and like a bunch of different genres and stuff like that. I grew up with a dad who loved Marvel, he loved DC, he liked watching anime with me, so my influences were like already like set in roots since I was like, I don't know, 5 or something like that. I didn't really start thinking cosplay was a thing until around 2015, 2016 when I was like in high school, because like I thought when you go to a convention, like cosplaying was like required. I didn't know that was an option. So I thought, oh, if I do that, I'll like be with like this group and like to interact with people and talk about like nerdy things that I like to talk about. But I didn't know that was an option. But it's all in like finding references into like what you need. Like, okay, I have this character in mind. I have this mental image of who I want to do or who I like to do. And it's a matter of like research. Like if you're gonna, and that's why I kind of said have a little picture of like cooking by the book. Like if you're doing like kind of like a recipe for like how you want things to go. So you kind of like go into a cookbook, you find all some of the instructions, but I feel like with baking, I think it's more instruction based versus cooking. Like I can just flip the pan on and change. So that's kind of how I like to explain like cosplay is, because like yes, there are some set instructions and like guidelines on how to do stuff, but that doesn't mean you can't have the freedom to like express yourself and like do anything that you want to be like creative wise to do. And yeah, in the beginning, like things, it might not look great in the beginning. You're like, I definitely had like things like that in the beginning when I was like cosplaying, like really young. Like, oh, this looks terrible. I never want to do this again. But I just kind of kept trying and making it better. Like, I always put in that mindset, like, okay, what can I improve? What can I do coming forward with this? So let me just go to. So finding characters and references. So I mean, Google is your friend, but my biggest friend is Pinterest. Most of my cosplays, yes, they look canon, but most of the time I just do my own creative freedom and just do things that I think fits the character best. Like for example, I'm more anatomy, so this is a businesswoman, so I have a watch, I have earrings, I have things like that. Yes, those are accessories, but I always try to do my makeup like more, I guess, workplace appropriate. It's kind of funny because I also work in an office, but that's kind of how I go. Yes. Yeah, I'm good. We figured it out. I'm terrible at technology. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, Pinterest is usually like my best output because like I don't even sometimes go by references of like just Google images. I sometimes even go by fan art. Or like what I see other people kind of like incorporate with that character. Like to me, there's certain characters that just mean the world to me that I just always have to do like a justice to them. And depending on what it is, sometimes I even look at like anime figures or like little statues and stuff like that, and I use that as part of my references in for cosplay. Also, if I know I'm rambling a lot, but if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to like raise your hand the entire time I'm doing this presentation. So I did this back a year or two. I had this wig for a very long time, and like these are some examples of like me looking at references and looking at the hair. Like for me, I always look at bone structures, especially if I'm looking at like actual real people. I look where like so like where the shadows are, like where the cheekbones, like the light hits. Like I always try to look sometimes completely accurate, but I more or less look like for the same like vibe that like the character has. Like as long as I got like the basis of it, it just more or less works with what it is. This is funny. I know everyone hates AI, but I think it's funny because I basically use this for like the like concept of like some of my characters. I do a lot of like female versions of male characters. I also do regular female characters. I do, and it just depends. But to me, if I do real people, I sometimes like do like these AI photos just so I can have a reference on more or less like what I kind of want it to look like, and it kind of works. Like it worked for this one. I haven't done it in a while, but it's great. These are just some more of my references and stuff that I've done. I have not done Steven Universe since like it ended, but I miss the era of me putting on body paint. But even though it was messy, it was something that I really was proud of at the time. I believe this was back in 2017, 2018, back when like Steven Universe was a thing. But I've done like several different things. Eyes. I am gonna get into a little bit of contacts. You don't necessarily need contacts, colorful contacts to do a character. It's more of a preference. To me, it's just fun to like kind of like play with. I myself cannot see very well. Like right now, my prescription went from 350 to 550, so I'm even more blind than like I used to be. So all my contacts that I wear are in fact prescription. I don't have the colorful ones now, but almost everything is. I would definitely, if you're gonna be wearing contacts because you're gonna be out all day and interacting with people and like, you know, like being outside all the time, I would definitely look into which retailers you're looking into. My personal favorites is this company called Oh My Kitty For You, Pinky Paradise, and Honey Color. The main reason I go to them is because they have a higher prescription, like for that. They also have like regular, like non-prescription, but for me, as somebody who like has very limited vision, that helps a lot. And most of the time, I also look for like how comfortable they are. There's some like these yellow ones, they're not comfortable at all. They basically feel like, like the best description, like a piece of glass on like your eyeball, I don't know. But basically because the pupil is so small, if I'm looking directly at the sun or like in a dark room, like I start seeing yellow. Not great, but I don't know, it's the things we do for cosplay. So for a very long time, I did not know like how to like properly take care of like contacts. I mean, I wear my regular contacts. I know you're supposed to like change the solution every single time, make sure like the cases are always closed and stuff like that. And like I was taught like the basics from an eye doctor, but cosplay contacts are like similar but like very different. The most important thing is you'll always like wash your hands. Like you do. I've been through so many like scenarios where I've like hurt my eyes involving contacts like a couple years ago. Not because I didn't wash my hands, but I have nails. I was wearing these fake nails and I scratched my cornea while taking off the contact and I couldn't see for about a day. I didn't lose my vision or anything, but I had an abrasion. So like, it was like, almost like if you got a paper cut in your eye. It was not great. But you just kind of have to be like very careful with them. I at that time didn't I was like tired. I just wanted them off of me. So that like hindered that. I do nails now and I like take care of myself, but like, yeah, just be careful. The one thing they also never taught us was, so if you order the cosplay contacts online, they're in these little like glass vials or the regular like cases like you would with regular contacts. I had no idea that you're not supposed to take that solution like into that and then immediately put like the contact right in. You're supposed to let those, because the packaging on there is just for like travel, so you're supposed to put them in like regular solution, let them in there for 24 hours and then they're ready to go. And I've seen a lot of people like still do that. I'm like, that's not great. And obviously get rid of expired contacts. Most of the cosplay ones, they usually last about a year. Some maybe a month, especially if you're just cosplaying, like you don't cosplay or go to like as many conventions as I do. Like sometimes I go to 3 or 4 a year, just kind of depends. You don't need like the 1 year ones, like just get rid of them. And I don't have it with me, but I usually use this saline solution because for a very long time, I also didn't realize that I was allergic to most contact solutions, especially the ones that are like multi-use or like for like storage. So I just like rinse them out with like the saline solution that's for sensitive eyes, like I do, and it usually works like very well for me. Skincare is a basis on makeup. I don't think it's the biggest part of it, but have I seen improvements because I've taken care of my skin? Yes, but I know certain people like, have very textured skin, and there's nothing completely wrong with that. And if you want to cover up your acne or you cover up your scars, that is completely up to you. I cover up stuff all the time, but sometimes I just like let it go. For me, I don't like that my face is like all red, so I just cover it up sometimes. But more for the past few years, I just like not been covering it up as much, and you can actually see a little bit of flush in my cheeks. So like kind of like the basis is just moisturizer, cleanser, and SPF if you're like very pale as me. But I also didn't know like the fact that with skincare that also affects like how makeup reacts and stuff like that. Like I'll show you guys later, but like the whole like water and oil like don't mix type of thing. But I definitely have seen improvements with it. The main thing is just don't sleep with your makeup on. I've heard so many horror stories of like a mascara and whatever like crusting like underneath your eyes. It's not great. It's not great for your skin, and like it for me it causes me to break out. But we've all done that. I've been up at 2 a.m. and like the last thing I want to do is do anything, so I just go to bed. So, know your face usually just means, I'm also teaching you guys these techniques from like other makeup artists and other things that I've like experienced. So, our face is like either like oily, dry, or like a combination. I'm a little bit of both, and to me, honestly, I'm from Florida, so like humidity is terrible. So, it just kind of like depends on like the environment as well. Like some days I'm really dry, some days I'm really oily. It just kind of depends. So the whole oil to matte and then dry is like glowy. That usually just means like the type of like products and stuff that you want to use on your face for it. So if you're oily, you might get some things that might mattify or like absorb the oils, versus dry, you might want to get a little bit more hydrating like products for that. Oh, that water don't mix. So that's kind of how I base like products on how I put them on my face. So this also silicone based products. I didn't put it here, but I know some people don't want to read. I don't like to read, but I usually have to look in the back of like certain products and see what it is like the basis for especially if you're like doing foundation or like concealer. If it's silicone based, water based, or whatever, I just kind of like follow that through, like oil with oil, water with water. But that's not always the case. Most of the time, it just depends on the environment. So, for example, right here in Georgia and Florida, it's very hot, and it's like I will be sweating off like most of my makeup. I have to have something like sticking to like my actual foundation in order for this to last, because I do a lot of photo shoots and stuff like that. So I need that to last me like throughout the entire day. Most of the time, also, I just don't like changing between cosplays, so that's kind of how it would be. So these are more examples of like the works I do. It's kind of funny that I did 2 different versions of a vampire. But there's also love the influence. But this is kind of like what texture kind of looks like with makeup. Like from far away, you would not think that I have texture, but like if you come in closer, I had a very hard issue today where I have these dry patches on the right side of my face, just because like I use like a very like tough solution on my face. So I did this back in 2022 in Momocon. So this is a version of Hawks from My Hero Academia. I just like the idea of like Met Gala and stuff like that. So that's kind of where this costume and everything came from. But as you can see, like certain photos, you cannot see my texture on the angles and stuff like that, versus like actual lighting, you can still see like my texture, and that's completely okay. Because at the end of the day, you're just putting when you put makeup on your face, that's what it is. It's just makeup. It's not going to immediately blur everything out from like every different lighting and angle type of thing like that. So the best thing I've had like issues like even finding my own skin tone even now, because like every single brand is kind of like putting on like you're trying on jeans. One store will be one size, the other one will be another. So most of the time it's just better to try them in store. I know I have social anxiety, so I don't like to do that, but honestly, it's better than just ordering it in, figuring out it's wrong, and then I feel even more awkward going back to the store like, hey, I didn't like this, can I return it? That's usually something that I do not like either. So these two apps actually do help. I believe if you find like one shade of foundation, like, oh, I can't find this anywhere else, how am I gonna find it anywhere else? You can like insert the product that you already have, and they can find out like other similar products that might fit that shade of foundation or shade of anything that you want to use. So there's different types of foundations. I've kind of tried pretty much all of them. Liquid ones, usually depending on like the formula, they will stick a lot better and they will last a little bit longer. Plus they're just like easier to move with. They're kind of like more like malleable and be able to, you know, like last a little bit longer. The stick ones, it just kind of depends on which types you want to use, but they're more like if you want to cover up everything. I even use them as concealer to cover up like parts of my face, like acne and stuff like that if I need to. And then powders, there's various different ones. So the one I have right here in my hand, this is just a regular setting powder. There's very discord of like what's the difference between this versus a pressed powder or something like this in my hand. So the main difference I've been taught is just like, this is just mostly just to make sure it's not gonna move. This is just to make sure like the rest of your face kind of like, I guess the word would be breathable. So for me, my T-zone, like my forehead, my nose, and like my chin, that's where the majority of like the oils are gonna be. So this is what it kind of does. It just absorbs the oil to make sure I'm not like sweating and like things are not like breaking up as throughout the day, especially like during the heat. That kind of like I was explaining a little bit earlier. There's like various different ones. It doesn't matter which one you do. You just kind of have to like find the ones that you like work best for you. The pressed powder is like more like skin tone related, but the ones I have here, like they're translucent, so they can work for almost any like skin tone that you want to use. So get a girl that can do both. So this is the same character. I just did two different versions of it just because I thought it was like a fun, creative way to do it. No, I didn't make this wig unfortunately, but I can definitely do all the makeup for it. So, for more masculine features, I've done men before. They're not my favorite just because I like my glitz, my glam, my like glitters and stuff like that. But things are like, it's more focused on like contour and stuff like that. So that usually means you're just following the shadows like on your face, and you're just gonna, in my opinion, I do like the opposite. So for more feminine features, they're like more rounded. So I would just go around my cheekbones, like my standard like way that you would do it, versus like for male characters, I just always do like a triangles like on my face, kind of like you're just emphasizing all the muscle structure in your face, and that's kind of like the best way of like I can explain it to you. You don't have to do this, but I do because I like glitter. So highlighter, that's just basically adding like, it's kind of like if you're looking at a painting, you're basically looking at the points of light of where it would hit on your face. Usually for me, that's like the nose, like my brow bone, or like the top of like my cheekbone and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know, it just looks great. So the one thing I always kind of get asked is like how long like the makeup lasts and stuff like that, and how to make it a little bit lasting longer. I wore this picture right here, I wore this for about 17 hours, from like, probably even more. It's probably like 5 a.m. until like 2 in the morning. So this I learned from using Ven9 and like fixing spray. So it's basically, it feels almost like if you're spraying like hairspray on your face. Yes, it will make it last longer, but it would smell like hairspray, and also I know it's called like a sealant, so it just seals everything from like even moving from anything. But I know one of them also smells like, to me it smells like Listerine. I don't like them. The 5 layers of setting spray, that's just me, depending how long I need it to last for myself and how long I'm going to be wearing it out. The grippy primer, that just usually means a very tacky primer. So your powders and everything that you're going to keep layering and layering, you're just going to have it stick on your face for that. Oh, that's one. So, eyeshadows, I have a lot of friends that struggle with this. It's mostly just having to have patience and having to like be comfortable with the fact that you might not be able to do it the first time, but that's okay. You just have to have a little bit of patience with it. The only thing I kind of know is that they're like, why do you need a concealer or a primer? I'm like, well, mostly for me, it's just to make sure the eyeshadows stick to everything. Especially if you're gonna be like me, who's up at 5 a.m. till 2 a.m., you wanna have it stick. So eyeshadows, you can literally use any type of thing. Like I even have used like certain things, like things that aren't eyeshadow. Like I've used other powders that not eyeshadow, and they work just fine because I'm in a crunch. They're like I think one person asked me oh, do we need all these eyeshadows and this, and I'm like, no. Sometimes I literally have used also one eyeshadow palette as like for my entire face because I was in a time crunch. Like I would just use the little color, okay, this is for blush, this is for that, and it works just fine. Blend and blend some more. The more you use like brushes and stuff like that very gently and you just take your time with it, the more it will look a little bit better. This is the one topic that everyone kind of like struggles with. You don't necessarily, all of them do essentially the same thing. It just kind of depends on like what you want it for. To me, liquid liner is probably the hardest thing that I've like used, but I'm used to it because I've been using it for like years. But it lasts a lot longer with what I needed to do. I see a lot of people also like use like the tape around the eyes. It's like great because it's pulling on the eye now, but honestly, whatever works for you to like create the same shape that you kind of wanted to do. And sometimes I even, like right now, what I'm wearing with Nanami, this is just eyeshadow. I just use a very tiny little brush and just made it work for me because sometimes eyeliner itself doesn't even last for me, and this will just stick to my face. This is all eyeliner. So the entire eyes that you see here and all the tattoos, that's all eyeliner. I had to use like 3 different ones for Sukuna just because it's very different colors and different like things are like shaping my face. But yeah, this is all eyeliner. There's also various different colored ones. I know very companies like are now wanting to use like different colors and stuff like that, which honestly works. Like to me, it's a personal preference, but I like combining my eyelashes and my eyeliner to like the hair color of like some of my characters. Like if they have blue hair, I sometimes do blue eyeliner and stuff like that. Yeah, this is all eyeliner and stuff like that. This was fun. I love Dr. Stone and like, ooh, my bad. I love Dr. Stone and like the little marks on like their faces was always like my favorite thing to do. My favorite thing is body paint. So I've been doing body paint since like even the beginning of like me starting out like cosplay. Like I don't know why I thought that was a great idea to just immediately do the hardest thing ever, but I thought it was fun. There's 3 different types that I have tried It is oil-based, water-based, and alcohol-based. So the oil base, it looks like a stick. It basically is the same thing as like you would like regular foundation. You can use brushes, you can use sponges, stuff like that, and it will still work the same way as like you put on regular makeup. Water based, they're kind of a little bit harder to do. You kind of have to wet it with a brush, apply it with a brush, and try to blend it out. The one that I tried to do was that worked the best was the alcohol based one. Not only did it not like transfer, because with oil based and water based you have to set it and like put more spray and stuff like that to make sure it lasts longer. You're not transferring it. Like I still have nightmares of like me transferring body paint onto other people. I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry. But and then there's also like the Ben Nye Final Seal stuff. That stuff works on anything, including body paint, so it doesn't like transfer. And these are the two retailers I kind of like get. One of them is called sillyfarms.com. They have like every type of body paint that you can imagine. This is all body paint except for Dark Platinum in the middle. Like that character, that's a whole bodysuit, but I did use body paint for like the rest of my face and my neck. But this is all body paint. Persephone in the middle, that was the first time I ever did alcohol based. We were supposed to do a group for Lord Olympus, and I had no plan at all. I just did this so last minute. I had no plan on what I was doing. I just had the products, and I just did whatever I wanted on my face to make it look like the way it does. I won't touch too much into it because I haven't done it in a couple, like, last 2 years. But special effects, the only thing, it just kind of depends on like what the type of character you're trying to do. One of the earliest tricks I've learned from one of my friends back in high school was she used eyeshadow and concealer to just make a bunch of scars, and they actually lasted a very long time. Because her thing was she liked doing Edward Scissorhands with like all the scars and everything. So she wanted to do that rather than do like the whole special effects stuff where like it was kind of irritating on her skin. So honestly, I do stuff to like that too, where it's like I just make it more comfortable for myself. Few more makeup, including special effects. I also, if you don't like the concept of fake blood touching you, I have like sensory stuff. I don't like stuff being sticky or like touching me. I usually have used lipsticks and stuff like that to just imitate fake blood and not like actually use it, because like it just makes me uncomfortable, especially if you're wearing that in a con, especially in the heat, or like you don't know like what the environment is. Definitely recommend that. Where do you buy makeup? Literally anywhere where they sell makeup. So I don't usually buy all the expensive stuff. I literally just use whatever like is like the cheapest. Most of my stuff has also come in from like the Dollar Tree because it's just like cheaper, and you don't necessarily need a lot of money to like achieve a lot of things that you kind of want to do. I also have been looking a lot at like different small businesses and like various indie brands, just because like the quality just like looks better than some of the stuff that I always see in like the stores and stuff like that. These are a few of the brands that I've used. Some of them are expensive, some of them are not. It just kind of depends on like the more concept of like what your budget is and stuff like that, but you don't really need like a whole lot. The cheapest one I know is LA Girl, and most of their stuff is in Dollar Tree and stuff like that. They're like $1 and they work pretty well. More brands that I've tried. Most of these are more like indie brands or like more stuff that I just found on social media, and I've just been following them for like a couple of years. This is new. You don't have to follow this to a T, but I like the first two people, Rose and Ben and Clown Makeup, makeup artist. They teach you the basis on things that I like. You would find that in like a whole like if somebody like taught you like in a school, that's kind of like the vibe that they give. The teachers like more or less the basics of stuff. Especially, I like when people like teach like the whole science of it. Like, why does this oh, my makeup is separating. What does that do? I'm like, oh, you have this problem. Here's a solution on how to do it. So that's kind of how I like to grow. Since I'm closing it out before I have it open for you guys to ask questions, a little bit of like reminders is just practice when you can. So I like to do like makeup tests, which is just I practice doing one character until I get it right to where I'm like pleased with it. I work 2 jobs, so I literally just sometimes just do it like on the weekends or like when I have time, like at night. And you're just not gonna have it like if it doesn't happen the first time, that's completely fine. That's why, you know, just have grace with yourself and you just have to like practice whenever you can. And the best thing is like to have fun because it's just makeup. Makeup is fun. It doesn't have to be like this very scary thing, like, oh, I messed my eyeliner up, it looks terrible. I'm like, okay, but you can wipe it off. It's makeup, it's temporary, so you just have to kind of have fun with it. You guys are open to ask questions. Okay. You over here?
I have a question just to say, just for the description that I do work in the eye doctor, and I will say about the context portion, I will agree what you have to say, because I have personally seen people who come in who, for example, wear contacts every single day and never take them off. That in itself is a big issue, and that's only going to cost you more money if you don't take care of your eyes. If you wear your contacts all the time,
Yeah.
It can be.
What I've done, or at least what my doctor has, is I have like the rehydration drops. Or like for the past couple of years, I've literally just been, I don't like to do it a lot, but I prefer to like just switch up contacts. Like I'd rather use my regular contacts right now, or like any other, like if I have blue contacts, I'll just switch them up for like other new ones that are more comfortable for me to wear the day. But usually I'm stubborn, and when every convention is like, oh, go, I literally just use the hydration drops because like I sometimes just don't have time for that. Someone else have your hand up? Yes, you in the back.
How do you find your contour shade or like bronzer or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I didn't ask that. So bronzer, like I have right here, it's supposed to add warmth to your face. So think of it like a tan. I don't tan. I do not, because if you put me in the sun, I will be burning. But contour is more like a cool tone. So think of like the color wheel. So bronzer is more like reddish tones. Contour is more like blue, green type of tones. It took me a while to kind of figure that out because I would put this on and it's like, and then it feels like I just put on like a bunch of like fake tan in my face and it looks terrible. But that's kind of like how you would find that. Because there's not gonna lie, there's also a lot of confusion. There's a lot of things will be like, this is contour and it's not because it's orange. That's not how that works, but that's kind of like the basis of like how you would look for that. And not gonna lie, I sometimes also have used eyeshadow as like contour because I cannot for the life of me find something that like is not like orange base and everything else is like orange. But yeah, that's kind of like how you would like look for that. Anyone else?
There's one over here.
Oh, sorry. One of my friends is like text me at a party. Yes.
Anything regarding sweat resistance, like in like stage makeup, is that exclusively like special effects?
It doesn't have to be. It's just so the sprays that I mentioned, like the Ben Nye and like the expensive like stage makeup stuff, it does work. But you can literally use any of the store-bought brands. I don't have them with me right here to show you. Oh, yes, I do. So this is just a sample of it, but there's between fixing spray and setting spray. Setting spray is just gonna like make it stick to your face and make sure all the stuff that you just put on your face kind of blends in together. The fixing spray is the one that's like a little bit more expensive that is used for special effects, but you don't have to. You literally just get a small bottle of this and just use it. it's not gonna it's gonna be waterproof and sweatproof, like resistant, which I have used, and like my makeup has not like moved around. The other thing is mostly just powder. There's certain powders and there's certain waterproof makeup that you can use. Like there's both drugstore ones and like expensive ones where literally the sweat has like I've been sweating all day, and I also cried in most of my cosplays too, and that stuff has not like moved. But like the powders as well, and then there's also stuff that is waterproof, but you don't necessarily need it. If like unless you're like literally spending hours. If you're spending hours on a day, like hey, I'm gonna be in the sun all day, I need to make sure this doesn't sweat off and like transfer. Yes, definitely recommend that. I don't know about you guys, but I also do the thing of like I don't like to do my makeup in this type of cosplay because all the powder and everything is gonna ruin it. So it helps that these setting sprays and stuff like that doesn't move your makeup when I'm trying to like, because then I'll have to do the whole gymnastics thing of like trying to put the shirt over the thing, make sure it doesn't touch my face type of thing. But yeah, that's kind of like the recommendations for it. I think I have, where is it? I had it like one of these ones, but yeah, it's called Ben Nye Final Seal. It's the thing that I mentioned that smells like Listerine, but it will, from day to night, it will not move your makeup at all. And that's what I use in like some of the ones like for like this one specifically. That lasted from 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. It did not move at all. I think at most it creased my inner corners crease, but that's because I'm moving my eyes a lot. I'm moving like the smile lines. I'm laughing and talking to people, so that's just normal stuff for that. Anyone else? Yes.
When you're making makeup looks for characters, do you take into consideration how the characters themselves look, or do they base it entirely off of how they use it?
It depends. And also it depends on what type of concept I kind of want to do. But yes, I do. I'm planning, hopefully by this year, I've been into One Piece a lot, so I wanted to do 13, I do 13 days of Halloween every, like Halloween, so I wanted to do like 13 days of One Piece cosplays, and I saw that Oda posted female versions of certain characters, so I kind of wanted to do based on that, and I was just now writing all the stuff of what I want to do, and a lot of them, especially male characters, they don't have a lot to work with. So I kind of just have to do it based off the vibe and like the character. I'll make them look canon definitely, but I do it based on like the concept of the character itself. That kind of makes sense. Like for this one, when I did Arataki Ito, I wanted eyeshadow. I just didn't know what specifically I wanted to wear on it. Because he doesn't, have any eyeshadow or anything, he just has eyeliner. To me, that is kind of boring. So I just wanted to do like a whole different look to it. So I just kind of like based on like, okay, his whole thing is like gray, white, red. Okay, let's do like gray, white, red. So that's kind of how like I do that based on it. But other concepts like Crocodile, for example, I just did green because some parts of his costume were green. So that's kind of how I do it. There was another character, I don't know who it was, like his entire thing is like black and white, but that only bit of color of purple, I still use that as part of it just to make it look more interesting in what it is for it. Like right here I did Scary Godmother. I did this based on the hat that I wear for this costume to like make it more like three-dimensional. I have like a little bit of life to it. We have 15 more minutes. Any other questions? If not, if you guys would like to say hi to my Instagram real quick, because I cannot believe I had this many people show up. You guys want to say hi to my Instagram real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, But if you guys don't have any more questions, you guys are free to go. I release you. Go back to the con if you'd like.